put your hands together and do a favor of ours, Arthur Dixon! Hello!
Hello! Hey!
Vanguard! How's it going, everybody?
Pretty good!
Is everybody okay? Alright, good. I'll take that as a yes. Let's hear it for Evan Hughes, everyone. Lovely guy, always a pleasure seeing Evan. Thank you for having me, thank you all for being here. As Evan said, my name is Arthur. I have a bit of an accent, right? And talking like this, you know, I get all sorts of things. I get Australian, I get South African, I get New Zealand, I get suspicious glares from Republicans. But those suspicious glares are unfounded, because I am, in fact, British. And as you may know, British people have been very much the Republicans of world history. So I'd like to begin with an apology for centuries of terrible mistakes. I'm a slightly rare case in that my family comes from the UK, but I actually grew up and spent almost my whole life here in Oklahoma, specifically in a little town called Ardmore, Oklahoma. Is anyone familiar with the town of Ardmore, Oklahoma? Has anyone ever heard of that? Nice, thank you. Thank you for your support. Ardmore's a nice little town. It's close to Texas, down south. You may have driven through there on your travels. Who knows, maybe you even stopped off and sampled some of our famous home-style prescription painkillers. Just like Grandma used to take. Ardmore's a nice town. We recently changed our mascot down in Ardmore. We didn't have an offensive mascot before, we were the Ardmore Tigers before. But still, the whole town got together and we decided that we should have a mascot that really represents Ardmore's values. You know, we should have a mascot that's close to the heart of our community. So I cannot wait to watch the Ardmore Second Amendments take state next year. It's going to be really exciting. It's confusing that I come from Ardmore, Oklahoma, because I don't really sound like it, right? My parents, of course, have a British accent, and in my case, the accent just stuck, right? It stuck and I could not get rid of it. It's kind of like the red, angry bumps you get on your lip after you do the Hunt Club open mic, you know, and just could not get rid of it, try as I might. And as a result, I have this kind of strange hybrid way of speaking, you know, it's like Anglo-Okie at the same time. Doesn't make a lot of sense. I sound like Harry Potter if instead of Hogwarts he had attended PragerU. or James Bond if he drank 3 Point. Tragically, I sound like Andrew Tate if he respected women. And it's very confusing to people, it really is. The other day I was talking to an old man, and he said to me, "Where are you from?" And I told him, "I'm from Ardmore, Oklahoma." And he said to me, "Are there a lot of people like you in Ardmore?" And just to pull his leg a little bit, I said, "Yeah, Ardmore is full of people like me." And he said to me, "Wow, a whole town full of gay people." "That's very brave," he said. So, actually pretty progressive for an old man. Which is also the official slogan of the 2024 Joe Biden re-election campaign, so watch out for that. Being from Ardmore, Oklahoma, I have certain tastes that you might not expect. I enjoy certain things that are sometimes seen as being small town or even country types of pursuits. You know, for example, I'm a big fan of the rodeo. Specifically, I'm a big fan of the PBR, professional bull riding. Are there any fans of the PBR here at Vanguard this evening? It's a lot of fun. In case you're not familiar, I'll tell you a little bit about it. In the PBR, what you do is you get on the back of a raging bull, all right, for 8 seconds. For 8 seconds. And you just have to stay there, right? You just have to keep a grip on its muscular back. It's very exciting to watch. I'm such a big fan that I'm starting a new league. It's called the PDR, Professional Dick Riding. In the PDR, you have to explain why Elon Musk is a visionary genius for 8 seconds, while keeping a grip on any real-life friendship that you may have. It's actually much more difficult than the PBR is. Another small town taste that I enjoy is country music. Are there any fans of country music here at the Vanguard this evening? No? Yeah. A couple here and there. How about anyone who doesn't like country music? Right? Because that's common too, and that's fine, that's perfectly fine. I understand completely. I think there are a number of fully valid reasons not to like country music. Country music can be very degrading towards certain groups, women particularly. That's why I always prefer to call it vaginary music, as a gesture of respect. I stole that joke, so don't blame me. I stole it from a comedian named William Shakespeare. Country music, though, is trying to clean up its act a little bit, I've noticed. Some acts have even changed their names completely to get with the times, you know, politically. Lady A used to be Lady Antebellum, right? The Chicks used to be the Dixie Chicks. Florida Georgia Line used to be the two-state solution. Even they have buckled to political pressure. Interesting to watch. Without a doubt, though, I think the worst thing about country music is that some people are forced into it against their will. Don't know if you all are aware of this, but it's true. Some people are forced to become country musicians based on their name alone. I'll give you an example. Zach Bryan. Right? Does Zach Bryan want to be a country singer? Or is it the sheer gravitational pull of those two first names in such close proximity that's sucking him down this career path? Hard to say. Another example, a favorite of mine, Randy Travis. Right? Randy Travis is a phenomenal country singer, but he didn't have a choice. His name is Randy Travis. He was assigned country at birth. Or as the kids say, ACAB. Or more recently, an even more recent example, Brantley Gilbert. I don't know if you're all familiar with the great Brantley Gilbert, but that's a real person who exists in the world today, right? And he's a country singer, obviously, right? Brantley Gilbert was not going to become a clinical psychologist. And if Brantley Gilbert had become a clinical psychologist, he would have been fired on the first day for trying to treat schizophrenia with a couple of long necks and a damn good time. Which might work, right? It's never been tested. So that's the real tragedy. Of course, all of this leads us to the central question here that I'm getting to, which is, how the hell is Travis Scott not a country singer? I don't know how he dodged that bullet, but he truly does hold the antidote, right? Said it best himself. It was interesting growing up in a small town here in Oklahoma. You know, people jump to a lot of conclusions about small towns, I've noticed. Thanks, Evan. The other day I was talking to a friend who's from the big city, and I was telling her about growing up in Ardmore, and she said to me, "Oh, Ardmore, small town, probably a lot of people there are anti-Semites," she said. And I just thought, that's ridiculous, you know. How could the people of Ardmore, Oklahoma be anti-Semites? A lot of them drive semis for a living, so I just thought that was absurd. You know. On a final note, on a similar note, I just want to say I really did have a good childhood, you know, growing up in Ardmore. I had a classic, wholesome, all-American upbringing. And I grew up doing classic, wholesome, all-American activities. Grew up hunting, fishing, floating the river, swimming in a creek, sleeping out under the stars, saying the N-word, you know, classic, all-American, the kinds of things that the founding fathers died for. It's just a little joke there, and that's, and I'd like to thank you for doing that. And that's a terrible joke, I know that, right? I'd like to apologize for it. But at least it obviously is a joke, right? I mean, you all see me, right? Spend some time together. You all know I'm obviously not the kind of person who would ever enjoy outdoor activities. It's just another little joke. I do enjoy outdoor activities, and I do not enjoy saying the N-word. And neither should you, fellow whites out there. It's a terrible thing to do. In fact, you know, I live my life to this day according to the official motto of Ardmore, Oklahoma public schools, where the only N-word on our mind is knowledge. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Arthur Dixon. This show is sponsored by Ardmore and Ryan Wall.